Hello and welcome. Join us as we take a walk around this incredible island in El Nido, Palawan in the Philippines. Now, this is the first evening walk. We have just taken 6 hours by a minibus to get here after a flight that was hugely delayed and then not even been able to get to our original destination. All of this was booked over lunch, and what we end up finding was extraordinary. So we went out in the evening just to explore. Now there's going to be bits and pieces that are a little bit laggy just where it's a little bit dark, but we are seeing this for the first ever time, and it was a trip to remember for a lifetime. I cannot highly recommend enough coming here. It's easy to walk around, everybody's super friendly, lots and lots of different activities and things to do as well. And you can see as we're coming up into the main town square just how bright and vibrant everything is. Now this is the first thing that we saw coming from our hotel. Now there'll be a hotel tour in the Philippines playlist, and you can just see what else is around there and how close it is to the beaches during the day. But you can see this is more of the lively area just at the town square. You've got a beautiful pizza place directly in front, big gym to the left hand side, and then you've got this huge burger place just to the right hand side. Now because you can do this as a square, you can walk just down there where the camera is pointing, and you could literally just walk in a straight line for ages, and there's loads and loads of different bits and pieces just down that way. You can stick to the beach if required and go all the way up and then eventually just take a left. Or you can do what we do and go a way we didn't actually need to do to start with, and then realise it's all as a grid system and you can actually walk up and down that way no problem as well. So bits and pieces you can see where you can buy some stuff. You go up the red stairs and that is where all the eatery is. Now originally we thought, oh, this is a beautiful little walk around just beside the beach. Didn't realise actually how big this island is and how much there is to explore and how easy it is to get on by foot. So for the next 20 minutes or so as we are walking around, like I said, I'm watching this back for the first ever time. I was filming it for the first ever time and not really knowing where we were going. So this is a proper explore just to see what is about, and then doing it again during the day, it was felt completely different. The lights and everything, it's just in a magical place. Like I said, it is super close to the beachfront. So whether traffic is coming, you can walk there in a straight line, or you can now turn right to turn left again and you just walk in a straight line, or you stay on the beach where we were and you basically walk in a straight line. You can see how easy this is, and it is just big rectangles. But from here what we're going to do, we're going to jump off away from the traffic, so you can see now we've just moved up and off the road ever so slightly, and then we'll jump again to the first corner where, if I remember rightly, there is some street food. Now on this corner you can then just walk in a straight line, and then that meets you back up with where we could have been. So it is that simple and that easy with regards to it being as just a nice simple grid. Now there's loads and loads of little places where you can grab yourself a bite to eat and a drink, or like I said, you've got them on all of the corners, and the smell was beautiful. But if you were now just walk in a straight line just down there, it would link back up to where we were going, and we found this completely by mistake. So this is here, I do believe, basically every single night. So it's a little bit laggy here and it will catch back up. It's just a little bit too dark for this camera to cope with. Loads and loads of little gifts, all sorts of different bits and pieces you can get from here. You've got all different bags, you've got purses, you've got magnets. Really nice atmosphere down here, and you can get yourself some food and things from here as well. And then it just gets bigger and bigger, and there's just more and more things to see. Those bags are very handy because you can just keep your stuff in there. They float and they are 100% waterproof, so you can keep your phone and things in there. You don't have to worry, especially if you're going to be going on the island hop tours. You do require one of those if needed, because obviously if you want to take your phone onto the next island, well, you don't want to get it soaking wet in your shorts or in your pockets. So you've just got to be a little bit careful with certain things. So you can see as we start to pan around, there is a lot to soak in and there's a lot to take in as well, but it is really easy, so you don't have to worry. If you are thinking of coming here, just do it. You're not going to get lost. You don't have to worry about anything. The hotel locations all around the island are perfect, and obviously depending on what it is that you want to do, you can get them right beside the beachfront, or you can be a little bit further away like we are, or you can go to the other side and a little bit higher up on the island. If you're wondering what I'm going on about, just watch the video previous to this of how we actually end up here, and you'll see as we're getting dropped off into the centre, there's lots and lots of other people on our minibus getting dropped off at their own hotels, so you can have a good look at the different locations of those. So you can see just at the length of this thing and how there's all sorts of different bits and pieces for sale. And again, lots of little places to eat. The smell was beautiful coming down this way. I was actually amazed by how much was open by this point in the evening, and it didn't seem to be that anything closes until much later on in the evening as well. So you can see to the left hand side you've got all the bits and pieces with regards to the bags and all the nice little gifts and things if you want to get anybody any of those. Behind it, if I remember rightly, it was either on this side or directly behind me, it's a big school with a basketball court, and every time we came down here they were playing basketball, which is really cool to hear and see in the distance. So there was like adults playing against each other. It must have been some sort of league that they had down there. So again, if you've seen that or you've been part of that, then obviously please do let us know in that comment section, because it's always nice to know all the other activities that happen on the island. So I think we're going all the way down to then turn back round to come all the way back up again, and then if I remember rightly, we just carry on exploring, and there's just more and more to see. And then we realise that you can just walk across the beachfront to get to here, so it means you don't have to walk up by the main road like what we did. You can just stay by the beachfront, by the water, which is actually all lit a little bit further up by all the other businesses and buildings that are a little bit higher up. So that's all easy enough. It is an extremely safe place to walk around. As we were stood right by all the foodie bits, it would be rude not to show you some different bits and pieces they have on offer. Now, thanks to Admira, we will be starting off with this, and look how cute that dog is, just waiting for a drop to hit the floor. So this was very popular on the island. It was also very popular on Boracay as well. They sold so many of these. Now they smell amazing, but I did not want to try one of them because I am a wuss when it comes to trying new things. But from here, once we've had a quick look at some of the little bits of food that are on offer, we will then be heading up. It will start to get a little bit blurry and a little bit fuzzy just because it gets a little bit dark, so it does start to struggle a little bit with the camera. Then all of a sudden we then hit the main strip, which took me very much by surprise, and it looked beautiful with regards to how bright it was. Loads of different bars, clubs, restaurants and everything like that open, and they are really close to the seafront. In fact, some of them on the seafront side, when you go in through the open front door restaurant, you do have a sea view. So literally there's not even glass there. You can literally just sit there and you can just see the waves as you're grabbing a drink and a bite to eat. So yes, you are very much spoilt for choice with regards to what you can do on this island, and I was very lucky and grateful that we did manage to come here again completely by, well, not even by mistake, because we did come here, obviously we picked to come here, but just by luck. Otherwise we would have gone somewhere completely different and we would never have experienced this. So the walk is on. So now we are going to be walking up this way for a little while. It will start to get a little bit bouncy, only for a minute or so, maybe maximum in times, and then it does get a little bit brighter with all the lights. So again, it's very dark here, so the camera is doing well to keep up. And don't forget, it's only little lights that are on the inside of all these little units and things. And then as we start going down the main strip, we then of course got all the street lights and things like that, and that just helps a little bit with the actual footage. So as we come down, have you been here before? Well, have you got anything from here? Do you know exactly where we are on the island? Do you agree with me that this island is super easy and convenient to get around? Because it's just like Boracay, if you've been there, of just how easy it is to get from one side to the other. This, you can easily walk on the front, you can get to this bit all the time, but because this island is massive, because obviously it took us 6 hours to get here from the airport we landed, you've got a lot to explore, lots of different waterfalls, zip lines and all of that kind of things. There's lots and lots of adventurous stuff that you can do here, and all of those will be happening in future uploads, and I'm looking forward to putting those video files together because it is some fantastic memories going up all of the different bits and pieces and all the different walks and things that we go on. So there's lots and lots of physical activity to come, and again, the pricing of it all is really good. The fact it only costs £9 to travel 6 hours by a minibus is not too bad whatsoever. I don't think you would never ever be able to do anything like that in the UK. It's a lot more, well, I say it's a lot more expensive than that, but just to get, for example, to the airport by a huge coach with loads of people on, it costs you more money than that. So yeah, I feel very grateful and lucky that we did actually come over this way. Now you can see what I mean about it's now more lit. So you've got more lights, you've got more different bits and pieces. We will go into the darker phase and then it will start to pick back up again. It will just start to calm down ever so slightly. But obviously, as you're walking around, it does struggle a little bit, and I'm just glad that I actually picked it up as well as it did. You can see you've got big t-shirt shops in there, so if you want to just get yourself something with the custom print on the front, obviously you can do. They were getting ready to set up for a load of work, and it wasn't until the following day just how big a work that actually was, because they'd actually blocked off basically a strip like this on the road, but you could still walk on the footpath. And it wasn't until you go and explore on the island that you actually realise how much of a main road that they were digging up. So I felt sort of a little bit sorry for all the businesses that were there. But again, it was being done at the right time and the right season, because it was all being done in the off-peak season. So we are in the off-peak now rather than the on-peak, obviously, because you can imagine if this was peak time, it would be much, much hotter, and it would be much, much busier, I would imagine. So yes, it's going to be interesting to see if I can find any videos from the future in the summer season, just to see how busy this area was. If anybody else has done a walking guide, like I said, this is the first ever time exploring this area in the evening, and I'm glad we just got out of our accommodation and just came to have a look around, because, well, it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. I'm not 100% sure what I was trying to attempt with that. I think I've just taken it out of my t-shirt and I'm now holding it with my hand, because I thought it might take the bounce off, and now you can see it has done that. So I've just got to be careful when it gets to the dark night time where I put the camera and how I hold it, and if I start to move it too quickly, obviously it starts to drag a little bit, and that is never a fun thing. So as we come down, you can now go in a straight line, you can turn left or you can turn right. Now of course, if we are not too far from the beach, so one of these ways will take us to the beachfront, the other two ways will take us down some food eateries and restaurants, and I think that is exactly what we're going to do before we then get back to the beachfront. So it's very much a case of walk down one side, walk up the other, and just see all of these beautiful buildings and all the different bits and pieces that are really, really nicely lit up, because it's just a fantastic place. So you can see it's just block after block. So this is what I meant about you can just walk around in big rectangles, because you can go all the way to the end, go behind the building, come back down the next street. You've got all different bits and pieces. So for example, there to the left hand side, I had to go there for some bug spray because I had run out and I was getting nibbled like anything on the beach. So luckily they did have some insect repellent there, so that was very, very handy, and they've got those sorts of places popped up all over the place, which is great and handy. And again, you can see that the bakeries and things are closed, because obviously they're going to open up first thing in the morning. We've got a lot more eateries and things open up in the evening, so we are spoilt with regards to just having something to do literally 24/7. So I mean, I don't know when the cut-off point is. One of the restaurants that we went to was open till about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I think a lot of the others started to shut about 11. So there's a lot of rooftop bars. If you start to pay attention, you'd be surprised by just how many of those there are. I would say the easiest thing to do is just stay on the beach, walk up the beach, then turn left into the main strip. You go past, I think, a variation of a 7-Eleven, or in fact it is a 7-Eleven, I think, and then you just can see where there's a full strip of restaurants that overlook the sea front, and that's a perfect place to sit down and grab a bite to eat and a drink, and that is exactly what we do in this video, and that's what you will be seeing in a little bit. Now, another little snack, thanks to Admira again, because she was trying out all of the local bits and pieces, because I would not. I know you guys and girls like to see all the different food bits and pieces on here, so that apparently was very, very tasty indeed. It smelt nice, but again, no, I did not have a nibble of that. Now, as you walk down, again now, you can then turn left, or you can keep going in a straight line just to wrap it round as a block. So it's really, I keep saying it, really easy to navigate all these places. It is very, very simple indeed. The weather, we were lucky because it didn't rain, I don't think, at all during the day. It rained a little bit in the evening. There was a little bit of heavy rain in the evening, but during the day we were very, very lucky. We didn't get caught out like we did in Boracay, and luckily the flights and everything were absolutely spot on, and nothing was massively delayed getting from here. So we were lucky, because we had lots of problems to start with lots and lots of floods, hence why we ended up here and we couldn't get back to where we were supposed to be going, and Manila itself was underwater and all of that kind of thing. So that soon sorted itself out within sort of 3 or 4 days, but it just happened to be over the time frame that we needed to go through Manila and it just was not going to happen whatsoever. But like I said, all of these things that are shut are obviously open during the day. Some of these are where you can do the island hopping places, so some of them actually open up later on. So as we're walking around now, if I remember rightly, this yellow one here, it is, you can see you've got all the different maps, so you can obviously go in there and book it for the following day. So they'll get back in from the island actually doing the tour, then they'll open it up, and then you can book it. Obviously you can book it online as well, so you've got lots and lots of opportunities to do all of those kind of things if you want to, and I highly recommend doing as much as you possibly can, just exploring the island. Do a day what we're doing now, just explore it by foot, then get on an e-trike and you can go off and explore. Of course you can hire yourself a little scooter, a little moped, and then you can just go flying around the island. There is so much to go out and explore, but yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful looking place. So I am very much looking forward to potentially coming back here one day in my lifetime and just see how much it's changed, and just seeing if there's anything else to do that I missed the first time round, because, oh, just look at it. It's a hive of activity. Perfect time to come, I think, at this part of the year as well. Again, you've got all these things for the island hopping tours. They're very, very handy, including the footwear. And again, you've got some little fridge matching things. So a lot of the stuff that's open now, it's just a couple of bars, a couple of restaurants, and some little gift shops. All the other actual main shops and things, they're obviously all closed for the day, or for the night, shall I say, and then they'll all reopen again the following day. And there is a day tour coming, because this island is so big to explore, and we go down lots of different ways, and we see lots of different things, and obviously you see all the beach and all that kind of thing. So it is completely different everywhere you go. You can see you've got the sandy bits that we're walking down. You've got this really nice little ice cream place just here. Now, I now know where we are now. So if we just walk in a straight line from here, you can see the water in the distance, and then you are on the beachfront. Now, we didn't realise that the first time, but as we come out of here and turn right, all you've got to do is just walk in a straight line, and then it kicks you back up to where we actually came in the first time. So you could have, instead of just doing what we've just done to get to here, to save yourself a huge amount of time, just walk on the beach, have the beautiful water and the boats all up in there. You can see, literally, we were where all the group of lights are, just a little bit further down. Not that far away at all, but we've just gone all the way around as a big sort of block. But you could have just come up in here, walked in a straight line, and then got yourself down to the little market instead. So yes, there is lots of different ways to go, lots of different photo opportunities for different things like that. And that is also some accommodation that we're looking at. So that yellow thing just there, some of it's restaurant, and then a little bit further on past the yellow and a little bit further on past this blue is actually where some of the hotels start. So if you want it to be literally on the beachfront, you can do. So now we've literally just turned around and we're just walking back up. We've turned right, and now we're just walking in a straight line. So again, this is just another strip, somewhere completely different. You can just come down. All of these are very, very close to the actual beachfront as well. I know the camera's starting to struggle ever so slightly, but now we're turning, I think we turn right here, walking a straight line, and everything to the right-hand side is where all of the restaurants are, I do believe, by the beach front. I think that's what it is, because we didn't realise that on the way over this way, and then as we come back down, I'm sure this is the one. It's either that, or we'll end up turning back around again, and you see it for yourself in a second. Because like I said, I am watching this back for the very, very first time, and it is just bringing back so many amazing memories, apart from the way we were actually supposed to be walking. So apart from me actually in my own brain a little bit lost to what is coming next, the things that we did here was just insane. So again, you can see you've got some little gift shops on the left, some more eateries and things on the right. You can see what I mean about the rooftops as well, or just the second tier. So you can just walk up the stairs and go into those. The smell of food as you walk past a lot of these places was just amazing. And there is a lot of massage parlours over here as well. It's a very, very popular thing. They do look after themselves extremely well, because obviously they work so hard, and the cost for how long a treatment is extremely good value as well. But some of the theming of these places were amazing. There's some swinging bars as well, which I've never seen before, with regards to actually sat at the bar in a swing, not that kind of swingers. So you've got those kind of things in the different sort of palm trees and that kind of thing. And you can see as we start coming down, where there's more light and things, there's even more eateries all the way down there. And if you just keep going in a straight line, you end up actually by the boats, because it just basically runs out of units and it just pinches you back onto the sand. So you can walk the whole front with the water and the ocean to the one end, literally to where all the shops are. Then you can just come back down and zigzag all the way through if you want to. But you can see how everybody's just chilling out on the stairs and just relaxing, because it is a very, very calm area. This part of the island was much, much calmer because there's no real nightclubs or anything like that. In one of the other videos, when we go around for a walk in the evening and we went down a completely different way, it was much, much more lively. But we are going down where I thought we were, which is right beside the beach front. So all of these shops to the right-hand side, so I was right at the start of this video, all of these to the right-hand side are all places that you can just sit down and have a sea view. So everything, you can see that you've actually got some nice hotels there as well. So there's a hotel just to the right-hand side, in between two of the bars, and you can see you've got island souvenirs again on the left-hand side. Some of those pop up from time to time. There was one of those in Boracay as well, if I remember. So that's a pretty cool franchise to go in and get all of your little gifts and things like that. It's very much a case of just walk as far as you want to walk and explore. But if you are just wanting to look at this video for places of accommodation, just get yourself on Google and just have a look, because we've already walked past, I think, another 4 since I mentioned the fact that there was a hotel just there. So it really is convenient with regards to booking multiple places, and the value of these things for what you get are great. So if you want to be around this side of the island, and obviously it's getting on a little bit and it's a little bit later at night, so I don't know how quiet it's going to be in your hotel room, especially at the weekends, but if you don't mind that kind of thing, then you can't really go wrong. You walk onto the beachfront, you can have breakfast anywhere that you want to have it, and then you can just go off and explore. You can easily get on one of the e-trikes and you can just shoot off. So again, just looking this back through and just seeing all the bits and pieces, I really didn't realise there was so many different types of accommodation. Now we are going to turn around, and instead of walking all the way back down to where we've just come, we are going to cut the footage off, because we do turn the camera off anyway, and we're going to end up in somewhere that we like the look of, and we're just going to have a quick, I think we end up having a bite to eat, to be honest, because I don't think we've eaten yet. So we go into the opposite side, I think, to this. So this is the one place that you had the opportunity to go into. There's a couple of other really nice places as well, and then we end up on the other side. So we're still not quite where we are. Forgot we filmed all of this as well. So again, you've got lunch, dinner, breakfast, you've got Filipino breakfast, and all sorts of different bits and pieces in there. And that again looks like a beautiful, beautiful place to eat. And this is where we were. So we were literally over the way, because we liked the look of this one. And it was that. Look at that. That is just the ocean with no glass directly in front of you. And it was so, so calm. It was a beautiful place. I can imagine what that would be like for sunset. And it's just a really nice area. And they did a beautiful cake here as well. That was a very, very nice moist chocolate cake. So 10 out of 10 for that one. So if you can get yourself down here, then I highly recommend just stopping off into there. Now, the final walk back. So there's just a short bit on the beach. That is us done for night number 1, exploring this beautiful island for the very first time. But where we're walking now, we could have just done in a straight line from where the video started, and then you just turn left and kick up into the main bit. So you do not have to walk by any of the main roads like we did right at the very, very start. So it is so straightforward to get around. Now this is obviously a little strip where it's a little bit more lively, but this is what I meant about you've got to be careful. Sometimes, I say you've got to always be careful with the hotels that you book, but with the locations, if you are willing to have this as your view, you also might have to have that as your neighbour. So just bear that in mind. But guys, that is it, and I am done. So one more time, you could like the video and subscribe to the channel. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you next one. Ta-da.